Good morning. This is my very first YouTube video. I'm doing this as a way to hold myself accountable in my budget. So this morning, started off, my husband and I are working to pay off about $37,800 in non-primary mortgage loans, and then another $139,000 in primary mortgage loans after we are able to save our 3 to 6 months worth of emergency expenses. This puts us on baby step 2, the Dave Ramsey plan. We already have our $1,000 set aside in a separate account, and we've begun working on it. So just to kind of show you a split here, I have written out, we owe about just over $18,000 on our van, well, my van. We owe, you'll see it says house 1 and house 2. House 1 is our non-primary house. We owe about 19 grand on that, and then about another 138 grand on our primary house, for a total of $176,000 that we're working to pay off. Our minimum payments at this point are $409 for our van, $225 for the first house loan, and $1,100 for the second. That $1,100 here does include escrow, for a total of about $1,700 a month in debt payments. So that's kind of what I'm working with to start with. So I just kind of want to show you what that is. I'm hoping within a couple years to have these numbers down to 0, and within 10, I'm aiming for that. So I know that seems like a lot, paying, it'd be almost 18 grand a year towards loans, but I think if we scrimp and save and plan a little bit, I think we can do it. We've also got some stuff we're going to be selling here shortly, including the possibility of either selling house 1 or renting it out to provide a little income. We're not 100% sure which way we're doing that, but that is the goal, is to get rid of that in a fairly timely fashion. So just to give you a heads up on what our other bills look like. So these are our standard bills every month between the 2 houses and the cars. So we have about $550 in electric. That of course goes up and down. About $70 in water. I don't pay it every month, so I usually do every 3 months I'll pay it. I like to keep a head on it though, so that's where that's at right now. About $90 in car insurance. We do have an IRA. I know I'm supposed to stop it, but I don't currently have the phone number for the wonderful lady who manages my IRA, so I need to probably grow up and gain some accountability and call her and stop that. And then it's $118.20 for our cell phones, $34 for our trash service, and $410 for gas, give or take, is what we budget for the month. We also budget out $600 for food and $200 for personal spending. There are from time to time other things like daycare and such that do come out of that, but I'm not including that because it's not an all the time thing. Also, sometimes we do work overtime, which would increase what we make every month. So our percentages do change. We've always had a bad habit of budgeting or balancing our budget by working overtime. Now we're kind of hoping most of that overtime can go towards debt. So you'll see here that comes to a total with all of those spendings of $2,127 a month in standard bills, and then another $1,734 in just debt payments. That doesn't count our snowball payments. It doesn't count anything. So we pay, not ourselves, about $3,862 a month. So for our snowball for the month of April right now, April will be a 3-paycheck month for me. So this will probably change, but as of right now, we're looking at our snowball amount being approximately $624 for the month, which would bring my van payment up to about $1,000. Really hoping to knock a big chunk out of that in March still, so we'll see how that lands at the end of March. And then if we can get some overtime or something of that sort, I'm also starting to look for a second job, then that would provide the availability to make that payment even bigger and get that sucker paid off. I'd love to have it paid off by the end of the year. I know it's kind of a lofty goal, but that's kind of my goal right now, is I want to have that van paid off. So that's kind of where that stands right now. So how that shakes out, and I don't have my entire budget on paper yet for April, but our paychecks were both paid bi-weekly. He's paid every other Friday here and here. So April, I said, is a 3 paycheck month for us. March is as well, so this might change some of our end of the month numbers as far as how much debt we have left. But my paydays are the Tuesdays after his Fridays, so I get paid the 2nd, the 16th, and the 30th this month. So that's how that shakes out right now. As I keep going, I'll write this out a little better on my calendar so you can see where all the rest of my payments are. We do not split and take half of every bill at every paycheck. We literally just try to plan ahead and take the whole thing out of whichever paycheck it's due out of. My husband does make just a hair more than I do, but so these are our big checks on Fridays. Mine is not a whole lot less, but it is less on those following Tuesdays. I'm hoping to eventually create, like I said, a second job or more income. So that's where that stands in order to get us a little further ahead. I would love to have this paid off in under 2 years. I've already been working on it for about a year, but then we decided to buy the second house on it, and that slowed us down just a little bit, having that second set of bills. So that is what I'm working on right now. Like I said, the goal is to have the van paid off by the end of the year, the house either sold or rented by December, preferably before that, just because the bills associated with that house, while not super expensive, they are still a mass amount I could be putting towards my debt, putting towards my 6 months of savings, etc., getting us much further in our journey. So that's where I'm at right now. I hope I can continue to do this and just keep myself accountable for what I'm doing and what I'm spending. I do try to, as far as my food budget you saw was $600, we are a family of 6. I like to follow Jordan Page's rule on that. She's a great vlogger. She does funcheaperfree.com, and she recommends $100 per person per month, and then to split that weekly. So we do a little bit of that, except for we actually go shopping about once a month, and I do meal plans. So probably the next video I record for myself will be that meal planning, and then a grocery list with that, along with costs and such like that. But I want to really get very intense on this. I'm tired of sitting and waiting on it, and I just want to go get it and get it gone. So that's where I'm at. Have a great day.